At first glance, the original 1987 film, Predator, might appear to be a simple action movie where one hunter pursues and kills other hunters. It's filled with blood, brutality, and deaths inflicted by cold weapons, firearms, plasma casters, and lasers. The film is so high energy, everything happens so quickly and vividly that we simply don't have time to contemplate the predator's motivations. Initially, this alien seems like just a maniac preying on defenseless victims. The predator is cruel and terrifyingly alien, yet all its actions follow a distinct logic. It has its own code of honor, something akin to a true warrior's set of rules. It only engages in combat when its opponent is ready. It doesn't attack the unarmed. It doesn't attack those who are sleeping. And most importantly, it kills each target in a manner befitting their worth. For the first half of the film, the alien evaluates the men's masculinity, then executes them according to their behavior. Masculinity is a frequent theme in cinema, and here we have 7 men vying for alpha status by demonstrating their skills, authority, bravery, and brute strength. Their ordeal becomes a genuine test of courage for each team member, but it's worth pausing to note that these tests end in deaths that undermine their masculine dignity. From this perspective, Predator can be viewed as a philosophical reinterpretation of masculine behavior. So we have Dutch's team, consisting of 6 men and his old friend Dylan. The squad operates as a true brotherhood. When one opens fire, the others join in without question. The commander respects each member, and they respect him in return. Each possesses exceptional qualities. Each has their role. During assaults, they move as one. This is an elite unit, the best of the best. There are no weak links. Yet each embodies masculinity in their own way, and the Predator challenges their notions of masculinity. Let's examine the deaths of the main characters. Hawkins, the radio man, dies first. Unsurprisingly, as he's the least masculine of the group, frankly pathetic. Hawkins is a skilled fighter. His hands didn't tremble during the camp assault, and he didn't end up in this elite unit by accident. But Hawkins feels inadequate in his masculinity, overcompensating with crude jokes about his girlfriend's anatomy, trying to appear manly by emphasizing his sexual energy. Yet no one takes him seriously. Hawkins dies while chasing Anna. The Predator interprets this pursuit as an attempted rape, a despicable, dishonorable act. From the context, the Predator understands it exactly this way. She falls to the ground. Hawkins fights with her. The Predator completely reverses the situation, making him the victim. It drags him into the jungle, systematically stripping him, first his backpack and gear, then the rest of his clothes. Hawkins told jokes about genitalia, so the Predator literally tears off his own, then hangs him naked, castrated, upside down. Blaine, the tough guy with a minigun, constantly cracking jokes. His performative masculinity shines through. He delivers one of the film's most iconic lines. When wounded in the arm, Poncho tells him,
"You're hit. You're bleeding, man."
Blaine replies,
"I ain't got time to bleed."
"I ain't got time to bleed." The Predator doesn't understand his words, but grasps their essence. This psychopath with a massive gun is killed at range, first by inducing massive hemorrhage, then by melting him with a plasma shot. The enormous wound covering half his body is completely bloodless.
No powder burns. No shrapnel.
The wound's all fused, cauterized. What the hell could have done this to a man?
The tough guy who had no time to bleed is left with no blood at all. Mac, the least morally stable team member. He equates coldness and cruelty with masculinity, a stern, rough, taciturn, bald man. He constantly shaves his head. We first see him doing this, and he does it again before the assault. For him, it's a ritual. His combat style revolves around stealth. There's a key detail. Mac isn't talkative, but he loves making threats. He silently approaches Dylan and warns him that if he jeopardizes the team, Mac will let him bleed out slow and quiet. Later, he vows to carve his name into the predator's skull. The predator also notices Mac crushing a small scorpion under his boot. The predator stalks Mac just as Mac stalked Dylan, then kills him in the slowest way possible, making him bleed out. Mac promised to brand the predator, so the predator signs Mac's flesh with its laser sight, then methodically slices him apart with the beam, mercilessly exterminating him like an insect. It literally leaves its mark on him. The scene occurs off camera. We see Dylan instead. But when Mac reappears half a minute later, the predator is only just finishing its gruesome execution of the twitching body. While others died quickly, Mac suffers the worst fate, slow and silent. Dylan, Dutch's old comrade. He boasts about his higher rank and how easily he attained it. For him, masculinity is about dominance. When he first meets Dutch, he greets him with an arm wrestling match and loses. This matters. He wants to prove his superior masculinity and rank, but fails even in arm wrestling. The director emphasizes this moment. Ultimately, the predator severs this same arm with its laser, symbolizing Dylan's futile struggle for status, which defined his masculinity. His death is the most visually symbolic. The arm ends up on the bottom, just as it did in the match, because Dutch is stronger, metaphorically more masculine. Later, that same arm lies on the ground, still firing a pistol uselessly, as pointless as his entire struggle. Now we turn to the trio embodying peak masculinity within Dutch's unit. Poncho and Billy stand as the squad's most disciplined operatives. Poncho, a former Green Beret, dies pragmatically, first crippled by a falling log, then swiftly shot in the neck. Poncho was courageous without obvious flaws. He fought rebels honorably, never disrespected others, or bragged. To the predator, he appeared wholly worthy. Warriors consider it merciful to finish off the wounded. Hence the predator targets Poncho, not the healthy men. The irony? Remember Blaine's "I ain't got time to bleed"? Poncho retorted,
You got time to duck?
he's the only one who didn't dodge. That's why the log hit him. Such lines aren't written accidentally. Crippled by the log, he's granted a quick, painless death. Billy, perhaps the baddest team member, a silent tracker and exceptional fighter. Performative masculinity isn't his style. He admits fear, trusts his instincts, and prefers action to chatter. The predator grants him the noblest death, off-screen, implying he died bravely. He discards his rifle, sheds his gear, draws a massive knife, and awaits the predator for melee combat. This takes courage, but to the predator, only Dutch proves truly worthy. However brave, Billy ultimately yields, and this surrender seals his fate. Dutch, unlike Billy, runs, but strategically to set a trap, heightening the finale's tension. He embodies our fear and hope. Notably, when viewed through the predator's thermal vision, Dutch's voice pitch rises, almost feminine, symbolizing his exposed terror. He moans in pain, unashamed of his fear. He's no chest-thumping warrior charging gun first. He's a tactician who knows when to attack and when to retreat. Ironically, he's the most masculine of all. His courage isn't performative. He crawls, hides, and survives. The key distinction? Those who died were faking masculinity to varying degrees. Hawkins most of all, Billy least. He alone admitted fear. Their deaths resulted from self-deception. True courage isn't denying fear, it's confronting it. Dutch is driven by the instinct to survive. He turns the predator's own tactics against him, uses the environment, sets a trap, and makes himself invisible. He throws a challenge back at the predator's sense of honor. The predator recognizes him as an equal. He disarms himself and engages in a fair hand-to-hand fight. Only after being fairly defeated does he reveal his claws. But as it turns out, Dutch outsmarted him. The last thing the predator does is laugh and activate the self-destruct device, leaving just enough time for Dutch to escape. The Predator lost in a fair fight and accepted his defeat with dignity like a true warrior. The Predator had plenty of chances to kill everyone in Dutch's team, both from a distance and up close, but he chose not to act dishonorably. He fought each of them in a fair battle, not just defeating them, but teaching them a lesson, exposing each of their flaws. Dutch earned this victory. He abandoned bravado and showmanship, did everything like a professional. A man driven by instinct became a cold-blooded predator in order to survive. That's the only kind of courage that truly mattered to the alien.